In the early summer of 1994, a very special horseback trip was made by 4 families, their ages ranging from 8 months to 64 years. For 10 days and nights, they rode and camped in one of the most incredible natural wilderness areas in all of North America. An area only 4.5 hours from Vancouver by car. 125 miles north, as the crow flies, from the 3rd largest metropolitan center in Canada. The cast of characters included artist Robert Bateman, his wife Birgit, and their sons Christopher and Rob, photographers Pat and Rosemarie Keogh, their daughter Rebecca Dawn, and her brother, the star of the show, Little Glenn. The romantic entourage was led by Mountain Man Manhennick, assisted by his son Warren and his hard-working horse-wrangling dog Molly, and wined and dined by Sandy, the ever-smiling camp cook. Also along was me, writer-producer Terry Jacks, my wife Maggie, and our daughter Holly. For sheer beauty alone, the southern Chilcotin Mountains rival any wilderness area in the world. It is a unique area, rich in flora and wildlife, an area that depends on every living thing within it. An area that in order to survive and sustain its wilderness quality must be left alone. However, because of relatively easy accessibility, this wilderness is vulnerable to industrial exploitation. It is constantly threatened by man's mechanical means and big industry and its unquenchable thirst for wealth. Wealth that is derived from the destruction of nature. In order to prevent noise pollution and to protect the ecology, access to the area should be made by man alone, or with the assistance of his faithful beast of burden, the horse. The southern Chilcotin Mountains. A gift to man from nature, to be respected. Country immersed in clean air. Country abounding with pure water. magical country. Full of life. Whose mood is always changing. Graveyard Valley. 7 unmarked graves were found in this valley. Legend has it that years later, when they were exhumed by grave robbers, a single bullet hole was found in the back of each skull. According to the legend, 8 native hunters from the Seton Portage area were taking game from the valley when they were ambushed by a group of Chilcotin warriors. 7 were executed. However, 1 was sent back alive in order to tell his people what to expect if they ever returned to hunt in the valley again. Lichen, hundreds of years old. The mystery of Castle Peak. One of the largest remaining bands of California bighorn sheep.
That old bear had paws on him like this. I remember the night I saw old Mossface. It was in the early summer of 1974. It was getting kind of dark and there was a storm moving in from the north. I was coming down from that ridge up there when I run into him. I'd been warned by this old one-armed prospector to stay away from that ridge. It belonged to old Mossface and no one else. There he was, standing right in front of me, big as a horse, looking at me, right in my eyes. The hair stood straight up in the back of my neck, and old Red kind of jumped and spooked a bit. And then, just like a ghost, he disappeared. You know what I mean?
Life is everywhere you look. whether it be deep in the forests or up in the sky, and everything everywhere relies on something else to keep it alive. Like in Bonanza Basin, an area known as the guardian of the southern Chilcotin Mountains, an area threatened, where again life must move on if it can, or die, because it keeps getting closer and closer.
We belong to the earth. The earth does not belong to us. If we bring destruction to it, someday we will have to explain why to our children. In nature, death occurs through natural means, and life always emerges from it. Forests look after themselves. New trees are born naturally and obtain their nourishment from the remains of others. And life continues.
Dad, I told you before how to brush your horse. Maybe if you did it properly, your horse would like you better.
Misteriosamente, silenciosamente, pasa por mi lado sin hablar. Va muy bien vestida, camina alegremente, pasa por mi lado sin mirar.
Deer Pass, elevation 7,500 feet.
Esa mujer, ella no dice ni lo dirá. Ella no dice ni lo dirá.
It is really important that this area be kept entirely intact. Every part is vital in retaining a total wilderness quality. However, industry has already started to make its mark, and the heart of the area is threatened. Nature does not lend itself to industrial application. What is now a free and friendly wilderness will disappear if industry continues to intrude.
Tracks of the elusive wolverine, noted for his thievishness, strength, and cunning, whose name dons the infamous Wolverine Pass. The grating sound of the Clark's Nutcracker. both man and animal stake their claims. But man is greedy and always takes more than his share, whereas animals only take what is needed to survive. Fresh salad for supper.
Hey, little Glenn, you saddled up and ready to go?
Yo muy intrigado, tal vez impresionado.
The incredibly beautiful Spruce Lake country, a major part of the southern Chilcotin Mountains, harboring the jewel itself, Spruce Lake.
Ni lo dirá. Ella no dice ni lo dirá.
The turquoise waters of Hummingbird Lake. Mountains of scree and fossils up to 100 million years old. The mountain goat, the high-level inhabitant, guarding the peaks and forever watching the valleys of the southern Chilcotin Mountains.
gonna have to look after this place when old mountain man's gone. But old Red'll be here waiting for you. He's part of them mountains. You know what I mean?